Alright guys, so welcome to another episode of T1D Lifestyles. As you can see, I got Boomerang on in the background. We won't worry about that. Okay, so this episode was addressing working and T1Ding, so to speak. And like any complications, issues, and things along those lines that may have come up, possibly could have, things along those lines, which is very, very possible. So, although right now, not many of us are working, but before all of this happened, I am, or was, still am, a ballroom dance instructor, still an aspiring actress and artist, and I actually worked at a hair salon as well. So I did a couple of jobs, itty bitty things all over the place. So yeah. And of course, right now, none of those jobs are doing anything. So yay me. But I want to say one of the things I had to learn to do from the get-go was let my jobs know that I have this disability. Now, I know a lot of people, especially type 1s, are like, I'm not disabled. I don't want to be labeled as that and everything. But in all actuality, if you notate that on the job application, resume, whatever you put it on, it ends up making things a little bit easier for you in the long run. I say this because I had a job where I told them I did have a disability. My disability was that I'm a type 1 diabetic. And, you know, there were certain accommodations that needed to be made. I did specify what those were. And that job ended up not honoring those. So I ended up taking them to court. So, yeah, if I hadn't have put all of that in my job application and things like that, I probably wouldn't have benefited the way I did. One of the main issues was snacks and things like that that needed to be eaten and things, you know, throughout the course of the day, because I'd be working 5, 6, sometimes 8-hour shifts, and they would only allow me, like, for every 4 hours you work, you got like a 15-minute break. And if my glucose levels bottomed out because they didn't allow us to have anything to eat or drink while we were at our desk and things like that, I said that's going to be a problem because I'm a type 1 diabetic. I can't go that long without having some type of snack, some type of glucose that's put into me and things like that. And when I was up for a promotion, they actually told me no because of me not being dependable as being able to work the shifts needed to work, and because of the accommodations that they needed to make and things like that. But because it was in my paperwork and everything that I filled out and I submitted to them and gave them before they hired me, it actually benefited me in the long run. So I know a lot of us don't want to be seen as disabled or things like that, but because of what we may have to do for the job, it's best to just put that information out there and, you know, let them hire as they see fit. For now, all of my jobs know. They are amazing. The salon, if I wake up and I'm not at work yet, I'll text my manager right away. Like if I had a hypo, I'll say had a hypoglycemic episode. I said I will be leaving my house in about 10-15 minutes. My manager, she knows. She understands it. So she'll say, okay, just be careful, get here when you can, make sure you get enough to eat and blah, 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 and all of that stuff. If I need to go and test my glucose levels and things along those lines, she has no problem with accommodating me. She's really, really, really good about it. So I'm very happy about that. With the acting. So most of the films and stuff I've been cast in, I mean, come on now. You follow me on any of my social media pages. It's all about type 1 and everything. I don't hide it. I don't camouflage it. I don't not want it to be seen. I put it out there so you can't say you didn't know. But one of the issues I encounter is sometimes if I have a hypo, and it's annoying because I tend to have hypos like usually right before filming, which really pisses me the hell off. But when I have a hypo, sometimes I have short-term memory loss, which means if I had all my lines down, I had them locked, I knew them, and then I encountered a hypo the morning of filming, I'll eventually regain all that, but at that time, for like the first couple of hours, it's like my mind was like just wiped clean. So I've let quite a few films know that and things like that. You know, they all the directors, producers, and everything, they know I am a type 1 diabetic, and there can be complications and issues. When they're asking about food and things like that to bring, I make sure they understand what types of foods and beverages and snacks and stuff I would need throughout the course of a filming day or a filming production week, or however long filming is going to go. I make sure they understand what they need to have on set, just for my benefit as well as theirs. I did have two incidences happen. One was quite a few years ago, where I did tell the production I was a type 1 diabetic. All they heard was I'm a diabetic. So they took it from the understanding of I'm a type 2 diabetic. So everything for craft foods and things like that were all sugar-free, low carbs, everything, and all of that shit. Problem with that was I'm on an insulin pump. So I get to set and we start filming, and I go to grab something to eat and everything, and there's basically no carbs for me to eat. And I'm looking at them like, help, like, y'all are gonna kill me. I need sugar, basically. I need the glucose. I need something with carbs in it, like ASAP. And they did apologize. They were like, oh my God, we thought because diabetics have to, curb the carb intake and things. I was like, no. Type 1s, we are set on insulin. So we need a certain amount of carbs, glucose, throughout for however much insulin we inject into ourselves. So we need carbs. We have to have that to eat and things like that. So I need you guys to go and get me something to eat. Unfortunately, by the time they did bring the food and everything, it was a little late, and I did end up in the ER, which really, really sucked. But, they apologized. They felt so bad. We got through that first day, well, kind of. And then the next day, it ran so smoothly. So it was no big deal. They had the right foods and things like that. Another production not too long ago did not have ample carbs on set. But because we were at someone's home, they did try and find like anything that was sweet and things along those lines to help give me, because I'd be running the lines and I'd be doing good. And then, like I said, sometimes when I bottom out or my levels start dropping, I can't remember shit. And that started happening through the course of filming. And they did everything possible to get food there and things like that to bring my glucose levels up. So I think it's just going to be an ongoing situation. I don't want to say a problem, but it's an ongoing situation just because I'm a type 1 diabetic. I can't change that. That's who I am. That's who I'll be until or whenever they decide they're going to cure this and we're not going to have to deal with this no more. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. For the dancing, now that is tricky because my dance company, we are contracted by the schools in the city of Chicago to go and teach at those schools. So I don't know if my dance company informs them that I am a type 1 diabetic, but my dance company does know I'm a diabetic, or type 1 especially. And I have to make sure I have enough to bring with me. There was one school where I was teaching 5 hours a week, and I had to make sure I had enough glucose level or food, carbs, whatever, that I brought with me, so that way my levels wouldn't bottom out while I was teaching a dance class. And as you can guess, like being in a dance class, I'm very freaking active. I'm teaching kids and things like that. So it can be a little difficult to slow down and things like that. You try and keep the same energy level that the kids have. And so that has been tricky. Have encountered situations like where I'm teaching like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, like back to back to back, and it's all morning classes or something like that. And then sometimes I might wake up and encounter a hypo or a high glucose, and then, I text my dance company and let them know right away. And then I'll also call my teacher or the school and let them know I'm running a little bit behind. I hope to be there as soon as possible. But that is just a tricky situation to be in. It's difficult. But I don't, I'm, like I said, I'm so upfront about it. I let the world know. So it's not like they can say they didn't know. So what do you guys think? Happy with this? How do you guys let type 1 work around you and your employment? And does it hinder? Does it help? What do you guys think? Bye.